Hi there. You're watching Pop Culture Warrior. This is the way.
Hi there, it's your second favorite DP right here, okay? No, that's Deadpool, you silly little Hufflepuff. Anyways, I'm gonna need you to shut up that pretty little mouth of yours and pay attention because the show's about to start, alright? And, I don't know about you, but I know who's my vote for sexiest ex-soldier turned pop culture show host. Alright, enough foreplay, let's get on with the show.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hey, everybody! Welcome back. This is episode 170 of Pop Culture Warrior. the show where I stay up to date on all the ins and outs of what's happening in the pop culture frame of reference so you don't have to. Don't be smiling over there. I see you smiling and giggling to yourself. It's fine. It's all good. Okay, take two. Take two. Ready? Welcome, one and all. Today is May 14, 2024. This is episode 170 of Pop Culture Warrior, the show where I stay up to date on all the ins and outs of what's happening in pop culture so you don't have to. I am CQ, and I'm your Pop Culture Warrior. And joining me tonight is everybody's favorite guy. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. The Marine with the mouth, Mad Mike. Yay!
Woo! Back, bitches.
I'm back,
Thought they got
bitches.
rid of me, but that
Guess who's
can't
back?
happen.
Back again. All right, let's see. Make sure. How's the sound, everybody? Let us know how the sound is. As always, what is good? Level's a little low. Oh, is my level a little low? My level is a little low. I'll turn me up. I'll turn me up, and I'll turn up Mad Mike here. All right, we'll see how that
How's
goes.
that? Yep.
How's that? How's that, everybody? Better? Better? All right. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for joining. Heath, man. Hey, Angry Elf. What's up? How you guys doing? Joining us on the earlies. Appreciate y'all. We got a great show for you tonight. What do you hear? What do you say? It is window liquor in the bubble where he should be. Oh, got him from the sports bar. Scott says, Mad Mike is back. Now we got a good show. Oh, don't get him
He's
started.
right. I mean, when you're right, you're right.
Don't get him wound up already.
Just the facts, Jack.
Don't get him all wound up already. Hey, everybody. I'm CQ. I'm your host. I'm excited. I've had like 3 energy drinks, so I am rip-roaring and ready to go. Woo! Tell them why we're a minute or two late.
Somebody had to take a poop.
All them energy drinks had me going.
Oh.
We're gonna start just a minute or two behind. Anyway,
Primes have coconut water, which makes you shit.
Actually, you'll be proud of me. Not sponsored, but
Oh shit! Son.
yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Cheers, Mad Mike. Cheers, buddy. Get us going. Anyway, dude, so much has happened over the last couple days. It's all a blur. First and foremost, I got to give a quick shout out. Out of the blue, completely out of the blue, we had a guest on. God, it feels like a year ago now. Remember Mick Wingert? He's the voice actor behind like Marvel's What If and a bunch of other stuff. Really nice guy, really great guy. Randomly, I get a box in the mail, and I go to open it, and first I assume it's for my wife because she gets all the packages, but I see it's got my name on it, and I'm like, huh, that's weird. And then I see the 2 line, it says Mick Wingert, and I'm going, well, this is interesting. And in it is a little pop. Let's see if I can get this on. I always forget the camera's backwards. There's little Mick Wingert Funko Pop special edition. And it had a little note on it and says, CQ, sorry this is so late. I hope you still have room in your massive collection. All the best, Mick Wingert. Which is so awesome of him. Although, funny enough, I think the hair is like slipping off. Like if you look there, camera. If you look
put it down. At least I can't see it. I don't know if they can.
Okay, you're here. They're there. The hair is slipping off. So it looks more like George Costanza.
George Costanza, yeah.
It's got like George Costanza going on, but the hair seems to be falling off. But I thought, wow, that's so cool, man. That he.
What is that? The hair just like clicks in or something?
I guess so.
Or did he get a deal and he just bought a bunch of non-used George Costanzas?
He bought a bunch of George Costanzas, like close enough.
We'll take it.
So this will go back there in the collection. Special edition Funko Mick Wingert. Which I think is hilarious. It's awesome. It's like him, not one of his characters. It's him. What else? What else? What else? Oh, there was so much, so much. Something I got to tell you about in private. But
You're gonna tell me about your privates? Glee.
uh, we'll just say for now, I'm very excited about a collaboration that's coming. I won't say any more. It's not a done deal yet, but the ink is just, it's drying, so to speak.
You're gonna be doing some TikTok dances.
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
Angry Elf says we should do a poll to see who's the best co-host. King Smith is ready to take over, but we know who's the best co-host. Angry Elf, I don't know. He's putting his
Smith has his own show that he
money.
never does anyways. He has the worst attendance rate, I think, out of anyone in the freaking station. Okay.
Oh God. I got some other signed stuff. It's out of reach. It's right there, and I don't want to stand up because I'm not wearing pants.
Because I don't have pants on.
I wanted to beat you to it.
You remember the YouTubes?
Yeah, it's just I have to climb over a box to get it, and I don't feel like doing that. But I got some new books that were signed and whatever, so it was cool. And then the other thing, I don't know. What was it? Well, tonight joining us is a lovely actress. We got Mary McCormack joining the show later tonight to talk about her incredible career. She's going to be on the PBS Memorial Day concert, which is this coming Sunday. This coming Sunday for the Monday Memorial Day. But this coming Sunday, there's the National Mall's having the Memorial Day concert, hosted by Joe Montana, Gary Sinise, and all the like. She's one of the guest speakers, and so she wanted to come on and talk a little bit about that, and then we dive into her amazing career. And she's done so much, including her most recent thing was as Willie Day on Heels, which we might talk about the fact that it was on Stars, and maybe that's why the show got canceled. But anyway, we'll watch that interview later. How you doing, buddy? I feel like I haven't seen you in a minute. It's been a minute.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Good.
How you doing?
She could they could talk about how Joe Montana was on the show too.
Yeah. They're old pals. They're old pals.
See if he remembers. Probably not. I wouldn't remember this.
Actually, it was Joe Montana that had set it up. He says he had his manager reached out and was like, "Hey, I was just talking to Joe, and he really enjoyed coming on the show last year, and he wanted to send somebody else instead of him coming back to talk about the PBS special. He's like, he wanted to send somebody else to do it. So he was actually the one that sent Mary to us, which is awesome, which is really, really cool of him to remember us and to want us to kind of continue that partnership with them, which is awesome. I'm happy to do it. A couple of upcoming guests that I just locked in. We have dates, so I'm okay to announce it. We have, what's her name? I've already forgotten her name.
So good at this.
I'm so good at this.
So stoked.
No. It's I don't know how to pronounce. Okay, we're gonna go back with the name. How would you pronounce the name? Teryl. Terriel? It's like Ariel, but Terriel.
It's Johnson.
It's Jim Bob. Terril Rothery is an incredible actress. She's Stargate SG-1. She was, I know she did like 7 episodes on Arrow. She's done a massive amount of stuff. She's, popular for, Stargate SG-1, The Outer Limits, X-Files, First Wave, Masterminds, a bunch of stuff. Bunch of stuff. She did, like I said, she did 7 episodes on Arrow. She was in Caprica, bunch of things. So she is going to be joining us June 11th, I think it is. And then who I'm really excited for, one of my favorites, Greg Grunberg, who you'll remember from Heroes, Star Wars. He's one of the pilots in Star Wars. Just a bunch of stuff. Great dude. He's going to be coming on June 4th. I think it's like 2 weeks from now. So we got these two great actors that are coming on, and I'm very excited to talk with them. And we've got a ton more that we're just circling dates and trying to find a time that fits. So things are good, man. Show's doing good. Corey says, why don't you have Mad Mike on while you have guests on at the same time? I think the reason's pretty obvious. Mad Mike, would you like to elaborate why you're not on while we have guests on?
Well, one, your system probably couldn't handle it. And two, because I speak too much truth and you have to censor me.
Because if we had Mad Mike on, we would probably not get any more guests on afterwards. So that's why he gets put in a corner. He gets put in a little box, put in a corner, and he watches like a pedo in the corner while I do my interviews. Anyway, a couple of news stories we can actually talk about. Funny enough, a lot of Spider-Man related news this week. Obviously, I'm a big Spider-Man fan, but just a lot from the world of the Spider. So let's start with this is last Thursday night. Reports indicated there was a Silk, the character from the comics that don't know, Cindy Moon. They were working on an Amazon show for Silk. It was called Silk Spider Society, and it is no longer moving forward at Amazon MGM Studios. It was announced back in 2020. This is another project that Sony and Amazon were collaborating on. There's some other things we'll get into in a second, but it looks like it's not necessarily dead, but Sony Television is still shopping it around to other buyers. According to reports, the decision to not move forward with Silk Spider Society was made just a few days ago and may have stemmed from the show's development woes. There's been a lot of things going on behind the scenes about what's going on, and then there was a whole thing like the writer's room got fired and they brought in all new writing staff, and there was just a lot of stuff going on. It's been in development for 4 years with really no major casting or anything like that. So the show's undergone multiple overhauls. As far as anybody knows, that it got there was a few episodes that were written. So that was prior to the writer strike last year, and so yeah, it was just a mess of a development. Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, Amazon's like, we have standards and we're not putting out your hot garbage. Take that shit over to Netflix.
Oh man.
Or Peacock. Get the hell out of here.
That's I mean, here's my thing. So we talked about this a lot lately about how does garbage get out there, and like things like Madam Web, which were not good. Like, how does this get out?
Number one movie on Netflix.
Because anyway, I'm not even gonna dignify that with a comment.
I was pissed when I saw that. It's dumber people.
It's people because
they pay for the thing and they
so much hype, and you're like, well, I gotta, now that it's free, I gotta see it and see what all the hubbub is about. And
it's half the people are like, it's Marvel. It's in the comic. It's like, no, it's not.
Give it a week, it'll drop below the top 50 by next week. Yeah. Nobody's gonna watch it again after I think like the first 2 days it was up there, and I think it's just gonna plummet straight down. But no, I was saying that like so much crap's getting out there, and then on the flip side, you hear about, I don't know, man. I'm kind of torn on this. Let me bounce this off you, because I'm kind of torn. Because part of me goes like, well, you gotta give this a chance, right? Because remember the Batgirl series that HBO Max had that they canned after it was already done?
Yeah.
And all these other things, and then to find out this got bumped, and then there was that Black Cat Silver Sable show that they were doing Like, that got bumped. So it's like, well, it sucks that these things get killed before they come to life, but then you go, maybe it was for the better, because you see some of the stuff they do release, and it's like, how do you mess up Venom and Craven and Morbius and like these really compelling anti-hero / villain guys, and you just make them a bunch of whiny Twilight baby back bitches?
It's hard to mess it up too. It's like if you just follow any one of the stories, you'll do fine. But nope, they're like, oh, whatever, we'll do this.
Yeah.
It's too much. The studio executives have no clue what the hell they're doing with these things, and they're just like, let's put this in there, and the person's like, I gotta do this, my first gig.
Stefan says, remember when we got VHS tapes while deployed? You're dating yourself, man. You're dating yourself. VHS. Mike, you was a little rectangles. You remember those VHS?
Yeah, I know what a VHS is. They're the same fucking age, you boot.
Listen, youngin, do you remember that baby face you got there? I forget because you can't grow the facial hair. That you're not much younger.
I grow facial hair. I shave. I'm not a fucking nasty fucking army piece of shit.
So anyway, long story short, I don't know. But if Amazon says it wasn't good enough,
keep putting out hot garbage, all right, and then eventually they'll buy that shit back on the low.
Yeah, the very cheap price of $5.95. Another story came out. So this, I don't know how. Part of me very excited, part of me terrified. We know that Nick Cage voiced Spider-Man Noir in Across the Spider-Verse and all these the Spider-Verse movies.
Right.
Would you say that he did a good job as Spider-Man Noir, voicing that character?
Yeah, I mean, like, you can't do any worse, really. Well, you could do worse, but no, I think that was good. They put a big name actor in a role, and it got the thing some publicity. It sounded fine.
Yeah,
I liked it. I think it's a stupid character, but yeah, he did good.
Side note, Corey wants to know if you can see the rest of my room and if the man cave. This is a studio. I mean, I built a streaming studio. What you're seeing is only actually half the studio, because when I had designed it, I had ideas of what I wanted to do with the other half and stream other stuff. So one of these days I'm gonna film. I had this idea of filming different segments, and so you'll see it eventually. But
We don't want to see your OnlyFans side, okay?
that's for the OnlyFans. Feed Finder. So the reason I bring this up, I think he did an okay job as Spider-Man Noir for the animated movie. It was very having read the Spider-Man Noir, having being a purist and having read the source material. It was a very slapsticky version of that character, but the whole movie was kind of like that. Spider-Man Noir is supposed to be this very gritty, grounded, bubblegum shoe detective style, Clark Gable, Humphrey Bogart style character, and he was a little more cartoony, for lack of a better word.
Oh, it had to fit with the movie, but
Correct. The reason I bring all this up, it was just announced. Speaking of Amazon only doing good stuff, it was just announced Nicolas Cage will reprise his role as Spider-Man Noir, but this time in live action.
yeah,
Yes.
I think we mentioned this before.
Yes.
Now that is just stupid.
They had been talking up. There was a rumor going around that a Spider-Man Noir was in development. It's come out that yes, it is, and shockingly, Nick Cage is going to be playing Spider-Man Noir, which I think is
it's absurd.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they can make it work, but he looks like shit.
Well, they'll mask him up
And
the
he
whole
is
time.
just so old now. Like, they're gonna have to put his face from Face Off on him and shit.
Come here, evildoer. Maybe he'll 1930s box.
Yeah. The Irish?
So yes, the actor is now officially attached to star in War, an upcoming live-action series from Prime Video and MGM. Plus, the character hails from Earth 90214 in the Marvel Comics multiverse, which is where the Depression era world. It's a kind of like the whole world is Depression era. Marvel superheroes are reinvented to fit into an aesthetic of noir detective movies. Cage, who voiced the character in Into the Spider-Verse, has always been a fan of those, TV roles. The announcement was made actually during the Amazon's upfront presentation, which is when they kind of announce all the new stuff and postulate about the future. Here's an interesting quote from Mr. Nick Cage himself. He says, "I can say that we have been talking. It's no secret that I love the character." Now, this was actually back in March before it was actually first confirmed, right? Because they were like, hey, are you doing this Noir thing? And he's like, we have been talking. It's no secret I love the character. I can combine my favorite Golden Age performances, i.e. Robinson, Cagney, Bogart, with a character that is wildly considered to be Stan Lee's masterpiece, Spider-Man. I see it as a kind of foray into pop art, a mashup of different styles, like, again, Bogart and Cagney. But nothing's definitive. Cagney. I say it the way I say it. It's anyway. Long story short, the live action noir is going to be a unique opportunity. Amazon Prime is very excited for it. They think it's going to be a big hit. The extremely talented Nicolas Cage is an ideal choice for our new superhero, and the accomplished producing team with Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, Amy Pascal, and the incredible team at Sony. I don't know, man.
Do they have a script already, or this shit just gonna be shut down in a year? It's, and it's like, oh, we got Nicolas Cage, and I'm excited to do it. It's like, yeah, that fucking guy will do anything. Okay, we could put him in a movie if we had like $1 million to shoot him.
I'm gonna get him to shoot a
20 houses that he has to, he has to pay them mortgages on. Like, of course he'll do it. He'll do whatever, and he'll be excited about it. But I don't know.
That's funny.
I would honestly rather see Silk than that. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't like that character to begin with. I think it's those old Private Eye like stuff's cool, like whatever, Two Jakes with Jack Nicholson and shit. But it's from a different era. Like,
yeah,
it's gonna like miss like the people that used to watch all that shit. They didn't watch that, so nobody like realizes that now. I don't know. I think it's dumb.
No, man. I think you are correct. I don't know, man. I don't see. I'm trying to think of something that it could relate to, right? So something like The Boys, but set in that 1930s black and white motif, where it's a little more gangster.
Beating the shit out of people, that'd be cool.
I think that's that's where they're gonna have to go with it. And the funny thing is, even though it's a Spider-Man property, now there's spider webs bouncing around. That's clever. Even though it's a Spider-Man property, like, it's not gonna be Peter Parker. It's not. It's a different character. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like in the comics, he had a gun.
So in the comic, he wasn't Peter Parker. I never read that one.
He wasn't Peter Parker. Was he Peter Parker? He might have been a Peter Parker, because I remember he had an Uncle Ben.
The mob was maybe it's Ben Parker.
Yeah, the mob killed his uncle, and I remember he had a gun. He's one of the few Spider-Mans that actually carried a gun. He did not web swing. Didn't do the things. He had like the black trench coat and the black mask, and it was a very different take on Spider-Man than what is considered kind of the norm for Spider-Man. In fact, I can only think of like 2 or 3 Spider-Man variants ever that had firearms. But anyway,
that was the best.
Which one? The assassin one?
Yeah, the mercenary dude. What was his name? He wore like all black. He had like pads and shit.
Oh, Agent Venom? No,
Is that Agent? No.
Agent Venom was when Flash Thompson took the suit and became like a secret
Yeah,
spy,
I
a
think
secret
that's who
agent
I'm
spy.
thinking. Something
No,
like that.
there was a Spider-Man variant who was an assassin in a different world. So he wore kind of the suit, and it was badass because like he had the web swingers, but they didn't shoot webs; they shot bullets. So he'd literally be like and shooting. So
Fuck
that was
yeah.
it was a cool character. Um,
They should
let's
do 2099? Spider-Man 2099? That's what they should be doing. That was my favorite Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 2099. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one. I think that's a tough one to
Well,
do.
and they
Just
just did it
because,
in the in the movie or whatever, so
yeah, the animated, it's easier to do than
it would
going
cost
into.
more.
Yeah, there's a lot. But so keeping with the Spider-Man train, but and Sony really, it's officially announced that Venom, the last movie, the third movie, which is The Last Dance, which is such a
God.
stupid
And
title.
they just don't even, it's like they don't even try.
It's a stupid title. Well, it's officially going to be Tom Hardy's very last film as Venom. So for
Yeah,
those
no
people
shit.
they were some people. Well, I know there's a lot of people that were holding out hope for like a Sinister Six movie, or that he was going to cross over with like a Tom Holland movie, or any of these things. It's off the books. Give it up. Hang it up. The age of Venom is officially over after this movie, which I oh God, I want so bad. There's a rumor going around that the next MCU Spider-Man property will have Tom Holland, and he'll be getting the black suit, which I'm fine with. Let Marvel do the Venom story the right way, as
Right.
opposed to whatever the fuck this was, because that was it.
This is a studio
Oh my
executive,
God.
never read the shit in their life, and they're like, let's do this, let's do that. Oh, I heard this somewhere, let's do it.
Side tangent, small side tangent. Where I think superhero movies went wrong is that starting with Iron Man and a couple like the X-Men's, so to speak, the Spider-Man, so to speak, like they brought in people that knew the source material, that honored the source material, had the right people kind of behind the wheel, utilizing uh, stories the best they could, especially in those earlier days. Uh, they couldn't really use the stories directly because they didn't own the intellectual rights to those stories. They only owned the
Right.
character for the movies. So they couldn't really adapt stories, but they could kind of take aspects of stories. So, and which let them be their own thing, which was nice. But they had people that had a passion for the characters, that knew the characters, that knew the motivations, that knew the connections to other characters and what was strong, what wasn't. And it showed, and it got better and better and better and better up until probably Endgame. And at some point, there was a switch that was flipped. And I literally remember the interview, hearing the interview, and I forget which property was for, which movie was for, but they were like, yeah, I was brought in as a writer or director, whatever. And they're like, when we sat down, I gave them these ideas for these stories from the books, and they told me, whoa, no, we want to give you free license to, don't be hamstrung by the stories. Don't be, you know what I mean? Like just take these characters and go wild with it. And I'm like, that's where you fucked up.
Yeah.
That's where because we who grew up on these stories just want to see it on the big screen. So don't get me wrong. The other thing that really bothers me about it is they will say, okay, well, we're just taking some of the beats and the characters, but we're doing our own thing. Well, then don't use Age of Ultron when it's not
Yeah.
an Age of Ultron story. Don't use Civil War when it's
Not
a
so
very
long.
watered down version of Civil War. Don't use these like
Huge comic book events, and
yeah.
you muddle it
Infinity
down
War,
into bullshit.
Endgame, they did pretty well. I mean, again, you can't pull it right from the comics. There's so much involved in that. But when I hear, like Secret Wars is coming, and and all this. I'm like, it makes me nervous. Makes me
There's
nervous
not
because
enough. You didn't
it's
give enough to lead up to it. They do all these crossovers, all this shit goes into that. Like Civil War is the most fucking disappointing one of all of them. Like that was an epic comic book event.
yeah.
And it was like so badass to read it. And then I watched the thing and I was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
And here's the thing, personally, like I don't think Civil War was a bad movie by it, like in and of itself. I don't think it was a bad movie. I thought it
It
moved the
wasn't Civil
MCU,
War
but it
that we
wasn't Civil
thought it was
War.
going to be.
Exactly.
It,
So call it something else.
yeah,
Just give it a different name, and then now I don't go, oh, that's a letdown, right? Or
right.
Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion was a fucking crazy
Crazy.
storyline.
Yeah.
It was one of the all-time wildest storylines in the comic books, and what they gave us was
Fucking hot garbage.
not
That was
bad.
like, you might as well let Sony put that shit
Not
out. I
bad.
mean,
Yeah. So create a new Beavis and Butthead. They did.
it's on. Yeah, you can watch
there's
on
new
Paramount
episodes.
Plus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's new episodes of Beavis and Butthead, and they're like all old and shit. Which
Didn't they
speaking
have
of
Daria? I think they had Daria coming out, didn't they? Or did
yeah,
that get
there's
changed?
there's
Oh,
King of the Hill, and
no, King of the Hill.
I
That's right.
read somewhere that they confirmed that like Bobby's 21 in the series. He was fat little, and he's like a chef. I think is what it said. He's like a 21-year-old chef,
About
so
right.
or cook or whatever. But back to the side tangent. I feel like we're straying away from what makes the movies so good. And
that's what Sony does best, man. Like, and well, Fox did it too with Wolverine. Like, every Wolverine was a fucking huge disappointment. Like, oh, old man Logan. Like,
yeah,
you took an excellent comic book and you gave us the worst turd in the world. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds saved him over there, but
Two shots, two attempts at the Phoenix story, both
horrible.
horribly done. I mean, again, just epic storyline that just anyway.
It's like, how do you go so wrong? Like, you have it's like not like you're creating it. Like, you have stories to go off of. Like, you just tweak it a little. Like, I don't know. I get if you're like creating, you're like, look at this movie I made, whatever. And it's like, it sucks really bad. It's like, you have years and years of comics you can follow. Like, just pick anyone and you do okay if you slightly follow it.
Yeah.
It's just stupid.
I don't know. I imagine
it's like building a table without reading the instructions.
But no, imagine if somebody gave like a director or whatever the Harry Potter books, and he's just like, just use the names, just throw some magic. Shit
go
in
at
there,
it,
and just come on, just have at it. Just be creative. Don't be hamstrung by the story. You know how pissed people would be.
Well, yeah. They're like, they're not even wizards. They're not wizards. They're like fucking painters or something. Like,
they're day laborers. They're Mexican day laborers.
Waiting out in front of Home Depot and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? But they all have houses and shit. Like, you're over at Lowe's, bitch. Get out of here. Like, fuck, I'm over at Menards. God damn it.
God damn it. That's Now I want to see that. Now I kind of want to watch that.
They got three of the colors.
We've been trained to just want so much garbage. Speaking of Venom and Tom Hardy's last crack at the character, there is apparently, because Sony is just really pushing hard at this, like they're gonna milk every penny out of this. Apparently there's an R-rated animated version of a Venom project that is in the works at Sony. So I don't know if they figured, it's like they went, okay, the animated Spider-Man stuff is selling. Okay, all right, okay, cool. And we got that line. So it's so funny to me because this is exactly what they did with Spider-Man, right? Like Tom Holland Spider-Man hits, and they're like, oh, okay, let's okay, now they're gonna make Venom this and this
all
and
this shit out.
It's all crap. And now, okay, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is hitting. Cool. What can we do? And so they're like, okay, R-rated Venom, but animated. And it's like they're just throwing shit to see what sticks. And it's like, oh my God.
That's what they've always done. literally always done it. That's why they're like all the shit they're canceling because it's like, oh, it's not working anymore. What else we got? And now they're gonna do the anime. It's like that's
Yeah.
whatever.
I
They're
don't know.
dumb.
I just,
But people see it, they make money. That's the problem. Everyone goes to watch it, even though the trailer looks like shit. And then they think they're doing good, so they make more and more. And it takes 4 or 5 films for people to not go watch it.
Patrick, that was funny. Patrick said, pretend you ordered the book off wish.com for the
Yeah,
Harry Potter movie.
exactly. Getting the
Oh,
fucking
man.
Timu fucking Spider-Mans and shit over here.
Here's an interesting thought that I've had this week, and it's not really pertinent to news, but just kind of a change in the culture of watching movies. Obviously, COVID changed a lot in how we, you know, watch movies and streaming and all this and all that. Um, Movies have gone through a very a sizable shift because perfect example, The Fall Guy, which is the stuntman movie with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, came out 3 weeks ago in theaters. It is now on video on demand,
Right.
which 3 weeks in theaters doesn't seem like an awfully good run. I think back to like when we were kids and like movies would be you go see a movie for like 6 months in
Yeah.
theaters and then had to wait like a year for it to be released on DVD or whatever it was. Um, I just I don't I don't know how theaters will stay open. I just I see a future where we're not gonna have movie theaters. Like the way that we don't have really drive-in theaters anymore. I have a feeling the same way that malls are going out of business. I really think there'll be a time when movie theaters aren't a thing, or at least not chains of movie theaters, right? It'll be kind of
Right.
more like independent, family owned and operated theaters. But at that point, do movie companies even make film anymore, right? Or do they just go straight to streaming, right? Do they even bother? Or that's the experience. You go to the theater and like you're sitting in your seat and you see the guy typing in
Like
his
log
Netflix
in. Yeah.
password. It's just his login and they just stream it on the big screen. And then like that's the niche experience is you're just going in to watch the same shit you could at home, but on the big screen. Um,
No,
I don't know.
it's like, well, one, like COVID helped us realize what I've known for a long time is people suck and you don't want to be around them.
Yes,
Especially in public. Like
agreed.
people are the worst these days. It's like everyone got like nobody has respect for one another. Like they don't respect property or anything. And to the chain movie theaters, like well, they use COVID as an excuse, but they were going down to begin with. Like my AMC that I have here, and I live in a populated ass area. It still has the normal old ass fucking L-shaped seats that don't go back. And it's been like that for 15 fucking years. It's like, how the fuck do you expect people to go watch a movie and you got 15-year-old seats in there and a movie theater, which are the worst like seat like that? You know how much like shit is in those seats? It's like you
Mm.
sit down and it's just like butter seeps out of it or
Oh,
whatever.
mm.
Like you gotta fucking put money into it, but you don't offer you keep raising the prices on everything. You don't have shit when you go in. You know how many times I've been to Regal and they don't have buckets and shit? It's like, the fuck? How the fuck don't you have bags? It's a paper bag or whatever, like cardboard. Like, how the fuck don't you have that shit? I'm like, I want a large popcorn. We only have smalls. All right, so give me fucking 6 smalls and charge me for a large popcorn. It's not my fucking problem. You
Yeah.
know, like it's like you got to give the people something. If they're gonna spend, it costs me for a family of 4 to see a movie. It costs me like $150 because I gotta buy popcorn. The fucking ticket's $15. Like, and what am I going in there? I'm going in there to sit in an uncomfortable ass seat with a bunch of rude ass fucking people, like talking and fucking throwing shit everywhere on this old dated ass screen. It's not even fucking IMAX or 3D. So you got to give people some bang for their buck. There's like 3 mom and pop theaters, as you call them around here, that are banging. You go in there, you can get like, they fucking have waiters and waitresses. They bring the like food to your seats, and it's not like fucking nachos, popcorn, and
Stale
$18
nachos.
Twizzlers. It's like a fucking meal, you know. You get a hamburger home, like a
Yeah.
well-made hamburger, like fresh, like it's like good quality food. It's probably better than some of the fucking restaurants these days. And it's like all for the same price. Like the one theater includes popcorn with your ticket. And it's like they're charging the same price as Regal AMC. It's like you guys are doing it to yourself.
Yeah.
Gotta spend money to make money.
Yeah.
And that's where they've always made money. That's the thing, like I was talking the other day to my wife about. It's like they've known forever that they make money off the concessions. So it's like just offer other shit and make your money and then upgrade your theaters or whatever. They're refusing to do it, and they're gonna go out of business. I mean, they've been going out of business.
I mean, it's it's one of those things where, like you said, we have warehouse cinemas not too far from us, and I think they only have 2 locations, period. And that experience, dude, I will pay extra money to go there, even though it's on par or cheaper than some places. Um, it, they took care of the theater. It's great seating, comfortable seating. You know, they have a bar right there, so you can grab drinks on
Yeah,
your way in. Like, it's a good experience, and yeah,
people
but
will go for that. You gotta think like there's not a lot of fucking movies out these days, anyways. So it's like you're gonna go see maybe like 3 or 4 movies this year, like maybe 6. So, you're gonna go to a quality place. Otherwise, if it's a movie that I don't think is gonna be that good, I'll wait 3 months or 2 months and pay $25 and watch that shit at home.
this is JT says nothing like eating a full meal during a movie. Let me tell you something. Sometimes it really heightens the experience. I went to see not this was it this last Ninja Turtles or the one before that. I went to see a Ninja Turtle movie and I had a pizza and one of the Secret of the Ooze slushy whatevers, and I enjoyed the movie more because of it.
Mhm.
You know, like I
Yeah.
there's something to be said about that kind of adding that kind of experience into it.
And you kill 2 birds. You either if you like want to see a movie, you have to go early to
Mhm.
eat and then go
Or
watch the movie, or
yeah,
like see the movie and then go eat late or whatever. And when you're old as fuck, like we are, it's like, I want to go see a movie at like 5 and be home by 7. And now I fucking saw a movie and I ate and I can go
screw
home
that,
and go
man.
to bed
I
because
go,
I'm
I go to
cranky.
first showings. I go to matinee
I
first
know. It's
showings,
you
10 a.m. It's dead in the theater. You get your better seat. You're
Yeah,
out
but
by
now you can
noon.
eat lunch
You
while you're
get
there, and you don't
lunch,
have to
yeah,
fucking worry about
and
it.
then you're out. You
Yeah.
know,
You fucking
then you
old
can go take a
bitch.
nap.
Like, I'm fucking getting matinee prices because I'm fucking cheap and I'm old. I ain't going to evening movies.
Oh man, you crazy. Somebody.
You gotta see
So,
that $1.50.
by the way, Wolverine and Deadpool tickets are now on sale, and so there's a group of us, and we're talking, and we're like, all right, we're gonna go,
Did you get the
opening night.
friendship package? Would you get the fucking necklace, you fucking
I
gay ass homos?
I was gonna surprise you, but
Meat. Fitting.
no, but no, we were talking. We are like, oh, let's go old school. We're gonna do opening night, and I was like, that sounds like too many people. I'm not going. I don't want to
Yeah.
go. I was like,
You
I'll
reserve
go
your seats and then you see them all fill up, and I'm
day
like, I don't think I'm
after
gonna go now.
opening morning show. I'll go see that. But yeah, like it's just yeah. I don't know, man. The state of movies. I really think we're getting to a point where sometime in our lifetime, theaters will be a thing of the past. The same way
Yeah.
that Blockbuster is, or Red Lobster, apparently, because they just filed for bankruptcy.
No, they did themselves. And all you can eat shrimp, guys.
mm,
Really?
mm.
That was the only time I went to Red Lobster.
Phil says, Mad Mike sounds grumpy. Better get him some Crayolas. Oh, that's
That's
adorable.
all I do, man. Have you watched this show? Fuck. It's the only reason I'm here.
You must be new here.
God, amateur.
Welcome to Pop Culture Warriors, our first show. Speaking of movies, apparently a new Beetlejuice trailer, or the first official Beetlejuice trailer, Beetlejuice trailer, is coming on Thursday. So keep an eye out for
Nice.
that. We'll share that when it releases. Were you one of the people that saw Amazon's take on Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal? Let me tell you something.
No, I can't. You know, I'm a huge. That's like one of my favorite movies of all time. That
Roadhouse.
Patrick Swayze version. And I watched the trailer a couple times, and I
Yeah.
asked a number of people. And I don't think I can't watch it. I don't think I'm gonna watch it.
Family Guy ruined Roadhouse for me, because now anytime I think of Roadhouse, I just think of
Yeah.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
I cannot tie those things together. I watched it. I was bored the other weekend. I watched it. For what it is, it was a fun, lighthearted, beat 'em up movie. Like, if you don't try
None of
to
those
like,
are what the original one
I was
was.
like, if you
It's
don't,
not a lighthearted fucking movie.
I was just saying, but like, if you don't try to compare it to the original, and if you just go, this is a Jake Gyllenhaal movie where he beats up some dudes in Florida, like, I
It's like,
enjoyed
oh, you
it.
just gotta, not apply physics to Fast and Furious.
I
Just gotta not apply
you know,
decent dialogue, good
yeah,
acting,
you just gotta go with it.
sensical,
Just go with it.
chronological events.
If anybody out there, if you saw Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal, let me know. Thoughts. 1 to 5, 1 to 10, whatever. Let us know your thoughts. Now, Scott, that is what I was thinking. So I like the movie. Conor McGregor, who's in it, I can't tell if he's the worst actor to ever have lived, or no, that's it. That's really just it, because he was so over the top. It's like they're like, Connor, we need you to be the film's bad guy, and he went like 1960s Batman villain bad guy. Like, it's just like, literally when he walks like this, which Conor McGregor doesn't walk like this, but it's like he made a choice. Like I always say, like an actor makes a choice for their character, and like all he had to do was play Conor McGregor. Like if they're like, look, just be Conor McGregor, it would have been perfect. But like he's this, oh, what's going on in here? And it's like
they signed him up for like you gotta take acting classes. We signed you up for a year's worth, and he went to the intro class and never went back. It's like, I got it.
I got it.
You should have got what's his name? Fucking George St. Pierre, I think it would be. That guy's been acting. Get someone, Chuck Liddell. I don't know. You can get anyone
Tito
else.
Ortiz.
Yeah, he needs money. He needs work.
Oh
And
man,
he's a fucking, he could play a bad guy. Fucking Huntington Beach bad boy.
Jim, God bless. He says, I can't stay long, brother. Just wanted to pop in and say life is like a wiener. Sometimes it gets hard for no reason, but it will never stay hard. There you go, man. Right on. Put that shit on a pillow.
Put that shit on a t-shirt.
Put that shit on a t-shirt. So anyway, I brought
tattoo that
up.
shit on a baby.
I brought it up because apparently 85 million people disagree, and they thought it was pretty good. And you'll love to hear this.
85 million people didn't watch the original.
Oh, it's probably
and how many of
accurate,
those are Chinese hackers trying to ruin our country? Okay.
It's an inside hack job. Spygate. We'll call it Roadhouse Gate. No, a sequel to Roadhouse is officially in the works from Amazon MGM Studios. The movie, which starred Jake Gyllenhaal, has been watched a reportedly 80 million plus viewers since it launched. Amazon announced at its upfronts that there's more coming.
Plus, Jake Gyllenhaal does anything too.
I mean, not to spoil nothing in the movie, but he's
He's the
around.
Gen Z fucking Nicolas Cage. That's what he
We
is.
can only
Except
be
he's
so
not
lucky.
as intriguing and not as interesting.
He doesn't make as many interesting choices. So
I always
I
get
don't
him
know.
confused with what's his face? Tobey Maguire. Kind of look like.
Really?
Before he started working out.
I was gonna say because
Used to
well,
look
funny.
when he was skinny, when he was like in The Boy in the Bubble, they look pretty close.
Yeah, because do you know the interesting story about that where he almost played Spider-Man?
Is
Because
that right?
after okay, so Tobey Maguire does Spider-Man 1. Before Spider-Man 2 starts filming, he was in what was it? Secretariat or whatever that horse racing movie is.
Yeah,
And
Secretariat.
he fell off and hurt his back. And so they were really worried he wasn't going to be ready in time to film Spider-Man. And so they literally contacted Jake Gyllenhaal and they were like, you're up. And he started getting in shape and everything for the role and was going to step in and be Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2. And Tobey Maguire just got better, which is a funny nod because in the movie he hurts his back and he's like, oh, my back. And it's like, it's a funny nod.
I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire really, really got hurt prior to the filming of that movie. But anyway, so it's funny that Jake Gyllenhaal then,
full circle.
Yeah, full circle comes around and plays Mysterio in one of the later movies. Seabiscuit, that's the one, not Secretary. Seabiscuit. Yes, thank you, Phil.
Kind of the same plot in both those movies, though.
Yes, that's why there was the line "Oh my back" in Spider-Man 2. Yep, exactly. So anyway. Roadhouse 2. Let's see. They say here the film premiered on Prime Video March 21, attracted a record-breaking over 50 million worldwide viewers in its first 2 weekends, becoming Amazon MGM Studios' most watched produced film debut ever on a worldwide basis. So, kind of foregone conclusion, they're going to make a sequel of it, right? Because it hit big. You gotta hit big when you can. But it is what it is.
Maybe they won't have Connor in it.
I mean, I would.
If they're smart, they wouldn't bring him back. I didn't watch it, so I don't know if he dies or whatever. But please don't bring him back.
Depends when you stopped watching the movie, if he died or not.
Trailer.
If you stopped
Trailer
at the end of the movie, he died. But if you wait till all the way till the credits are done, you see him walk out of the hospital and like.
Oh God, they did an after credits.
He's like doing the
my back's better. And he's like standing up straight. Fix my back.
Yeah. So anyway, I think literally the only thing they need to do to make it better is not have Conor McGregor come back. That's it.
Yeah.
Do exactly what you did. It's a story about this dude just beating the living shit out of people, and
that's all you need.
I mean, you John Wick it. Have just the smallest reason, and then just a lot of him beating the shit out of people, and boom, great movie.
It's like, oh, I can't beat the shit out of people anymore, and then it's like, oh, I gotta work for money, and then it's like, all I could do is beat the shit out of people. That's the story.
That's your story. Let's see what else. Oh,
I think it was a couple of weeks ago. Was it Disney or somebody? Didn't they do like limited? Was it Ironheart trailers? I thought they dropped a couple Marvel trailers behind the scenes. I think it was last week.
So it was CinemaCon. You're talking about CinemaCon. They showed some footage of a lot of upcoming stuff. I didn't really want to talk about it only because it's all secondhand. You know what I mean?
Did they say when those things they're gonna show those trailers or?
Probably.
Are they doing D3 this year? Probably then, right?
Yeah,
I think they are.
A lot of it will be saved for D3. Although we talked about this, I don't know if it was last week when you weren't here or the week prior, but this whole McDonald's fiasco about how
that
Captain
was last
America,
show I did.
Brave, which I got one. I picked up one.
You did get one.
I did get one. It's not for me, for myself, but I got one. It's crazy. It's crazy that Captain America, Brave New World, their stance is still radio silence. It is still like no trailer, no previews, no. Like I think they've only released a picture of Sam Wilson in his Captain America costume, and then that Torres kid in the Falcon costume. Like that's it. That's all that's been officially released for the movie. They still have Harrison Ford under gag order that he's playing Red Hulk. I mean, it's the cat's out of the bag. It's on the McDonald's box. It literally says Red Hulk like it's written on the box.
Yeah.
Like, just show us. Show us already. I want to see it. I want to see what it looks like, not in a 2.5-inch plushie, but I want to see what it looks like on the screen because I'm ready to hate on it. I'm ready to completely hate on it because Red Hulk should have hair and a mustache, and I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think I think they're just going to make current Hulk and then change red. Yeah, change the hue setting and like, but it's Red Hulk and Hulk, although they are hulking figures, don't look alike. They don't. They're facially structured different. Red Hulk looks more like General Ross, not like Bruce Banner. But anyway, I digress. I just
Now if they do that and you're colorblind, you're just like, why is that slightly grayer Hulk?
There's Hulk and Gray Hulk,
a little
and
darker.
Hulk. Why is he so angry? Like not Hulk angry, but angry.
I
Let's
don't know Hulk was in this.
There's nothing wrong with two. Keith says nothing wrong with 2.5 inches. Yeah. Yes, Phil. E3 is dead. You are correct. E3 is dead, which is sad, man.
I said D. Or was it? Didn't they call it D3? What do they call the
E3
Disney thing?
No, D3 is Disney's thing, or D4
Comic-Con or whatever.
D4, D3,
D something. That's what I was getting to. We talked about E3 being dead like a year ago.
Yeah, but no, E3 is gone, which is so sad. I loved E3. There was just so much good. Anyway, I mentioned John Wick, and it had a really good segue moment, and you ruined it. But John Wick, if I asked you to name the spinoff of John Wick, one of the spinoffs of John Wick, can you guess any of them?
Well, they already did the one, the hotel or whatever.
Continental, that's right. What's another one?
I don't know. There's more. They're making more. What else are they going to spin off?
They're making more is my point. So announced a while ago.
They're going to do the Asian dude probably that the dad or whatever, and he's
correct.
Like, go somewhere.
Just announced Donnie Yen will reprise his role as Kane, the blind assassin, first seen in John Wick Chapter 4. There's a new feature film set after the events of John Wick 4. Kane, now free from his obligation to the High Table. The exact details of the adventure are unclear. The character, who has his haunted backstory only hinted at in most of the film, will presumably explore some of the events that led to his circumstances at the start of the film. Yen is one of the most respected martial arts actors in Hollywood, from Ip Man franchise. He was in Rogue One, Milan. He was actually in Milan, the live action one, yeah. And, so, look, I enjoyed John Wick and John Wick 2. And John Wick 3 started to get, I was like, all right, I feel like I've seen this. And then John Wick 4 just felt like John Wick 1 and 2 had a baby. And like,
I was like, felt bad, man.
John Wick 3.
It's like, man, he's making me tired watching him.
I'm exhausted watching this movie.
He's like so sweaty and he's like breathing so hard. I was like, yeah, this is like, it's like if I went back to boot camp or something.
Yeah.
When you're that age, you shouldn't be. It's just too much work.
I can't think of another film franchise that has spawned so many not just sequels, but spin-offs and other properties. Like I'm trying, outside of like the Marvel universe, which is different characters, I'm trying to think, like Fast and the Furious has a lot of sequels, and it had the one spin-off of the that Rock movie, the
Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, Hobbs
and Shaw. Thank God it bombed. But
The
no,
Walking
there's
Dead. Well, The Walking Dead is, I mean,
TV show.
it's a TV show, but like even if you're counting spin-offs, yeah, there's Walking Dead, there was the
Fear the Walking
Fear the
Dead.
Walking Dead, and now there's like 2 other spin-offs.
Daryl, and I think
There's
one
the
other
New York one. There's like the After the Walking Dead, and then yeah, and now Rick and Michonne are back, and that's one, and then the Daryl show. So yeah, I mean that's a decent amount of spin-offs.
one. That's
But
not a
yeah,
movie. If you're
yeah,
you're
it's not a
talking movie, which
movie.
is completely different.
Deadpool was a good John Wick spin-off. That's funny.
It's maybe Star Wars. Star Wars would be. They
Star
did a lot.
Wars.
Now they're
Star
doing a lot of
Wars.
spin-offs
I
recently.
mean that's fair. That's fair. But again, well, yeah, because it the Star Wars actors are in the first 3, and then they were in the follow-up 3, not necessarily in the first 3.
And they got all the shows. They got
Cool,
like
and then the shows. So yeah,
Andor. You had
so
the
Star Wars would probably
Rogue
be the
One,
closest
all
thing
that.
because you got 4 John Wick movies. Now you're gonna
Mandalorian, all
have
that Star Wars spin-off.
yeah, you got the Continental spin-off series. The ballerina's getting her own movie spin-off series of that universe, which Keanu Reeves said he'll be in. And then you'll have the martial
Ip
art, the
Man.
Kane, the blind Kane guy in his own series. So I mean, if you, I wish I would have put money. I wish it was like a stock I could have bought early on John Wick. I was an early investor into John Wick. Let me just say, I bought in early.
Can't go wrong with Keanu.
'Cause
He's
spin-off
supposed
be
to
a
do the
parody.
Berserker.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why he probably got out of the John Wick universe and had them kill him off so that he could go do other stuff. But Star Wars movies are playing whack-a-mole with the timeline. That's good. I like that. I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me. The only thing I hear when I see Donnie Yen now. Yeah, that's true. And can spinoff be a parody? Then Spaceballs counts. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see. One last story. Actually, no, that's more of a video game story. I could save that for next week. We can talk about it. But with that, we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, my interview with Mary McCormack. We will see you guys after the break. Chats.
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
Hey, you there? Yeah, it is right, you. Let me ask you something, alright? Where the hell do you think that you're going? Oh, what do you think because the show is going to commercial that means you get to just walk away? Well, CQ asked me to pass on the little message, alright? And it says, I'll be back.
After all I've done, do you love me now? Do you love me now? After all I've said, running through your head, do you love me now? Do you love me And if I told you everything, I bet you cry and run away. 'Cause with all the lies I keep, made you believe this was me. The truth is I am not at all who I preach myself to be. And I deserve to be alone. And I'm alone here with me. And after all I've done, do
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Pop Culture Warrior. I'm your host CQ, and joining me tonight is an actress who embodies the spirit of Hollywood's golden era with a modern twist. She's a Tony-nominated actress whose versatility on stage and screen has captivated audiences for decades. With a career that spans slapstick comedy to intense drama, she has defied Hollywood's norms and brought depth to the portrayal of the ordinary woman. Her performances have earned her comparisons to classic Hollywood icons and 2 SAG award nominations for her role in a beloved political drama series. Her talent shines through in a range of characters, from a tough U.S. Marshal to a radio producer, and she continues to push boundaries with her recent role in an action-packed wrestling drama, earning her a Critics' Choice nomination. Not just content with acting, though, she's also a producer of a hit game show, proving her prowess behind the scenes as well. From Broadway stages to the sets of critically acclaimed television series and feature films, her journey has been marked by memorable roles that resonate with authenticity and heart. Whether it's through her award-winning turns on the small screen or her powerful performances in horror features, she brings a unique presence that is both commanding and relatable. Enough talk. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute privilege to introduce the extraordinary Mary McCormack, everybody. Yay!
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
It's
Wake up
deserved.
to that every day.
No, it's well deserved. That is 100%. You you bring that out. So I
Tell my
appreciate you
kids-
taking the
Tell
time.
my kids.
Sorry, say that again.
I said, tell my kids.
Yeah, well, that's a whole. I can't help you with that. That's a whole thing. So thank you for being here tonight. I know you're here first and foremost to promote your upcoming appearance, 8th appearance on the PBS Memorial Day concert special. Usually to get to know you a little bit first, I want to ask you a couple questions. Like, do you have a military connection? What is your military connection?
I do. My grandfather served, and my dad was a Marine. He didn't serve long at all, and never was in active duty. But he, a daughter of a Marine, always a daughter of a Marine. So yeah, I do, and I just care deeply about our men and women in service, and so I've been really honored to have this be part of my life. The first year I did the concert, I just couldn't believe how moving it was and how meaningful it was and how lucky I was. I took my breath away. And I just said to the producers, like, I'm coming back, no matter what, I'm coming back. Like, even if you don't have anything for me to do, because no one really repeats except the hosts. But I just said, I'll come back and, pull cables. I'm definitely coming back, whether you want me to or not. And they were like a little like, oh, weird, like we have a stalker. So
Okay.
they very sweetly involved me every year, and I've been involved for 8 years. And as long as they'll have me, I'm gonna do it.
Wow, that's incredible. That's absolutely incredible and such a good thing to hear. So first and foremost, obviously we're connected to the military, but my show specifically is a pop culture show, right? Movies, TV, video games, all these different things. There's so many things to geek out about and nerd out about. Like, what's the thing maybe outside of your profession that you truly just geek out about?
Oh, wow. It's not going to be great. I mean, I like some bad TV.
Okay.
I like some Below Deck. And I have 2 teenage daughters, so we bond over some really terrible television. So I geek out about that. That's not ideal. What else?
That's great.
I
Trashy
love
TV.
Boggle. I love word games. Like, I love Boggle. I play a lot of Boggle.
Okay.
I geek out about games. I love games.
Oh, I got woman of my own heart. I've got a live stream board game tonight scheduled.
What?
So
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love games. And so much so that 25 Words or Less, which is our game show now that's been on for many, many years, started it was an out of print board game that I bought on eBay because I played it at a friend's house once, and I thought, this is incredible. I'm gonna have to get this. So we did, and we loved it so much. My husband was like, let's get the rights. And I was like, for what? We don't produce game shows. And he just said, well, let's call and see if we can do it. So we called the guy who designed the board game, and we said, look, we've never done it before. So, you're rolling the dice with us, but how about we get the rights for $25 or less? And he was like, yeah, okay, just make me a partner. And we did it. And now the game show's been on for years because it's a great game.
It's great.
You have to play it. It's a great game. And
Okay.
it's still, you can get it now. It's reissued.
We're gonna make that happen.
Sorry.
We're gonna no, absolutely. I love it. It's
now
the
I'm
passion.
geeking out, like you
It's
said.
the passion. Yes, that's exactly what we want to know. I have a passion for games as well, so you can't tell, but in these drawers, all back here are just filled with board games. Hundreds and hundreds of board games. Love them.
I love it. I love a board game.
More about you. Give us a peek, young Mary, right before, because I know you started early. I know you started this career early, but
well, yeah, I didn't really. I mean, they write that online that I started as a kid, but I didn't. I just did local plays as a kid. Like I just did it like the way most people do, like at my church or down the street or.
So what did you think before going, okay, I want to follow this passion, I want to become an actress?
Yeah.
What did you think you would be? A dentist, lawyer, police officer? What?
No, I always thought I'd be an actress. I grew up in New Jersey, and every year my dad for my birthday and my mom would take me to a Broadway play because we were sort of about a half hour out. And I just thought I just remember thinking like, that's a job? Like those are adults. And I thought, so ever since I saw that, I just always thought, well, that's what I'll do. That seems fun. I'll live in the city and I'll act. So, and you don't realize as a kid that's like little kids wanting to, pitch in the Major League Baseball pitchers,
Right.
Like it's just that kind of dream that only kids have. And so it never occurred to me that might be difficult.
That's awesome. I love when, because it's one thing, it's like, oh, it's a great story. Oh, I fell backwards into it. Some guy was like, hey, you should be in the movies. And then next thing I'm an actor. But I love hearing when people like, I've had a passion for it. It's all I've ever wanted to do. It's when I was a kid. That's the best. That's it. It's, oh man.
I just never thought I would do anything else. I guess if I had known how difficult maybe I would have thought, I should have some backup plan, but I just went full steam ahead.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So for this PBS Memorial Day concert, I mean, obviously it's a cherished tradition. You've been there for 8 years.
Yeah.
Can you give us a taste? Like, what does it mean to you to really be part of this event and to get to honor, service members and their families?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a wonderful chance for us all to join together and honor everyone who serves, who has served, and all their families as well, for the sacrifice they've made. It's our national night of remembrance, and it's a way to sort of honor everything that they've accomplished, how brave they've been, and how thankful we are to them, and to those, most importantly, who have given the ultimate sacrifice, just to say they didn't die in vain. It's a day to reflect and remember. It's a chance for us to sort of say, like, to our children, that this isn't just a day for a cookout,
right?
That there's something deeper, there's something really important. And it doesn't mean you have to sort of spend the whole day like that, but to take a pause and just to remember and thank.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't have said it better myself. Unfortunately I lost friends in combat, and it's definitely that, right? This is not, I don't think anybody would want, to take a whole day and be depressed but like to remember and cherish and keep their memories alive, keep their spirit alive, and to
let them know that we're here. To let all wounded, ill, and injured warriors know that we're here for them, that we're going to partner with them in this journey, that we know there's challenges still, even for those who made it home. There's visible and invisible wounds, right, that are continue to be challenges.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. I'm just curious because doing something like this is, I can imagine, emotionally charged. It's a heavy kind of subject matter. How do you prepare when, you're going to do something like this, when you're going to speak publicly. I mean, it's a live event. Well, it's aired, but there's people
Yeah.
there. It's live. It's
Oh
happening
yeah,
live.
it's live. Yeah.
How do you prepare for that, right? Like in front of a national audience, this is an emotionally charged event.
Yeah. Yeah, that's scary, but I think with this it's easier because to stay in the right mindset because of how brave the people you're honoring have been. Do you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
it's pretty easy to be like, okay, suck it up to myself because of what you're doing. You're there to say thank you, to people who've given the ultimate sacrifice and their families who are there. So it's a little like it's pretty easy to sort of be grounded in that moment just because my fear doesn't compete.
Right. You understand, like, these
Yeah.
guys really went through some tough
Yeah.
stuff. This can't be
Yeah,
that
yeah.
hard.
Yeah, no, I have to suck it up to do the right thing, It's like I'm there not to put on a show, I'm there to honor people, and that helps, I think.
It takes a little bit of the focus away from you. I'm just a
Yeah.
mouthpiece to
Yeah,
to
it's not
point.
about me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about me.
Gotcha. Now, the way that this works out is that they bring out different people to kind of work on different segments. I know your segment, I believe, is celebrating Wounded Warriors this year, which is
Mhm.
which is incredible. I mean, I'm just curious, how do you approach that? Like, what's the message that you're hoping to convey to the audience, especially when you're talking about Wounded Warriors?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have a conversation with, Christy Ennis, who was, injured, um, in Afghanistan. And, our conversation, hopefully, because of her determination and resilience, she's done all this incredible work to serve veterans. And she's created this community of people through her foundation. And she's just done amazing work to sort of remind people that it's not weak to ask for help, and that if you're feeling isolated, um, that there is community. There are people out there who you can reach out to. And so, and I think with our segment, our goal is to somehow reach people who are feeling isolated, to let them feel seen and heard, and to know that there's help on the other side. So, she's just done an amazing thing with her own life. She came home ill and injured and wounded, all of it, and she, tried to take her own life. She lost her purpose. She had survivor's guilt, all the things that you come home with when you're wounded, ill, and injured. And she, tried to take her own life. And then her dad, she says her dad, but I'm sure a bunch of people helped her realize that her pain connects her to all the people that she lost in combat, and all the people who have come home and are struggling with demons, that her pain can be a gift, that she's lucky to be alive and she has a choice to make. And she made the choice because she's devoted her life to serving veterans, and she's just done incredible work and saves lives every day through it. So I feel really privileged and honored to have the conversation with her. And then I feel really privileged and honored to sort of, you know, reach out to all the people watching who may really need this segment.
That's so good, so good.
She's
Um,
incredible. Yeah.
and that kind of leads a little bit into my next question, which is, how do you think events like this, the PBS Memorial Day concert,
Yeah.
how does it contribute to kind of the legacy to those who have served and sacrificed?
Well, I mean, I think it's I think it's like, to know that they're not forgotten, to know that their service was for a greater cause has to give meaning to it. It can, some people do feel forgotten. And that's tragic, because we all live the way we live because people makes this sacrifice. We are some of the luckiest people on the planet because of it. Um, and we just owe all our service members a partnership in this. We owe it to them so that we owe it to them so they know that they are um, remembered.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
Beautiful. No, I think that you're spot on. What about, like, how is working on this project specifically,
Mm,
like,
mm,
impacted you emotionally? Like, what do you take? Like, I know we've talked about what you want people to take
mm.
away from it, but what about you? You personally, like, what have you learned through this?
Well, I mean, It's an emotional night for sure. I mean, the first night I did it, I was 8 years ago. I was overcome with emotion, and I am every year. I just am every year astounded by people's bravery and selflessness, and you know, people who can see the greater good and live their life with purpose, and then the families who support them, and make sacrifices every day, whose dads aren't there for weddings and moms aren't there for graduations. And it's just the most moving thing in the world that people, um, live like this and make this choice for all of us. So I've learned how lucky I am as an American. I've learned how lucky I am um, to live free because of this sacrifice that everyone makes.
It's beautiful. Um, so I think we beat a dead horse on the PBS special, which is legit. But I have you here, so I want to ask you a little bit about you and your amazing career. One of my favorite things to do is when I have a guest coming on is to really do a deep dive on the career and kind of track it and see the similarities and the things and all of it, right? Take a kind of a 10,000 foot view. And so looking back, your role as Justine Appleton in Murder One was a pretty significant early role. Do you have any memories that kind of stand out from that time?
Yeah, that was a very significant role. Because I think the day I had that audition, I was living in New York, and I think I had 3 restaurant shifts that day, like a brunch shift, a lunch shift, and a cocktail shift. So, and like an audition in between. So it was life-changing because it just was all of a sudden, it was Stephen Bochco produced it. And at the time he was the biggest TV producer. So it was 22 episodes on the air, no testing for me, like no callbacks. He just could say, you have the job, So all of a sudden I was moving to LA. I paid off all my student. I couldn't even answer the phone before. Like my sister and I were so broke that if I answered the phone and they were asking for me, I said I was her. And if she answered the phone and they were asking for her, she said it was for me because we just owed so much money and, we're struggling. So yeah, that was and it was really funny because she was actually a criminal defense attorney for legal aid at the time. So she was, doing God's work, but not making any money, and had a mountain of both college and law school loans. And I was a waitress, studying acting and auditioning. And I got to play a legal aid, a defense lawyer, and paid off all my student loans and moved to LA. She was like, wait a minute, I'm actually doing that work. I was like, see ya, kiddo. But I love her so much. Yeah, it was a great job. I mean, a great job. I got to work with Stanley Tucci a lot in my first year, which was like going to acting school crash course. It was wonderful.
Yeah, incredible actor.
Yeah.
We'll jump forward a little bit. You played Deputy National Security Advisor Kate Harper on The West Wing, which I can imagine was quite an experience. What did you learn from being part of such a critically acclaimed series?
That was a life-changing job because first of all, the quality of the material was so good. So I was so lucky to be there. I came 4 months pregnant and had my first daughter during the show, and then just came back, and everyone was so sweet. It's a real family, that cast. We still are. I'm on a text chain with all of them, and we just give each other, I can't say it, but we give each other a hard time. And we love each other and show up for each other. And I just actually wrote a book on The West Wing. So it comes out August 13th. And it's called What's Next.
I know. I love it. I was excited. I saw that. I'm glad you touched on it. I was going to bring it up later. But that's something that's still, it's still in the pop culture sphere even today. Did when you're in it and you're surrounded by it, do you ever get the sense of like, oh, this is important, this is going to mean something, and it's going to be around forever?
No, I don't think I did, because I was pregnant and stuff. Like, it just felt like going to work, but work with really fun people. And, it's hardly work, there were long days, certainly hour-long television work is long, but it's so much fun. I would have done it for free, It's just the best. No, but I didn't think it would have the legs it had, just because you can't sort of see ahead like that,
Sure.
like, I didn't like. Now my daughters are finding it. There's a whole new generation finding The West Wing, which I think is great. because it's good they're watching some good television. But I definitely couldn't have predicted that.
Awesome. Again, jumping ahead because I want to keep you here on time, but
Yeah,
you have such a great career that like I really had to nitpick and go through just kind of the highlights. Maybe another time we'll bring you back and we'll do a deep dive. So as Mary Shannon in Plain Sight, you portrayed a really complex character. I'm really fascinated by this. What drew you specifically to that role, and then how do you prepare for it?
I loved that character so much. When I read the script, her name was Mary, which I was like, oh, that's weird. Just coincidentally. And I just loved her. She was so unusual. Like now I think there's more characters like that. But at the time there weren't a lot of women characters written like that. Like she, to me, I think I put it down and I said to my husband, she's written like the male lead. Because back then women were less complex, and she was sort of grouchy but kind inside, and she was a little bit of a mashup of things, which was usually reserved for the male lead of a show. And so I just thought, God, she's the best character I've read in ages. So yeah, I just wanted it a lot. And went in and met with the creator, and then was off and running 5 years later.
Yeah. Is there a process for like is it something where you kind of read the script and you go, okay, I think I get an idea of who it is, or do you have to kind of like mentally transform?
So, yeah, sometimes, yes. In that case, that was the closest character I've ever played to me, I think. Like I was like, oh my God, she's pissed off like I am. She's grouchy like I am. But, underneath it all, she's kind of okay. But yeah, no, that fit like a glove. Like it was as if he'd written it for me and then named her Mary. It was spooky almost.
Oh,
In fact, the original title was Mary Sunshine.
Oh,
Which I
okay.
loved.
Okay. That's fascinating. I always love, again, hearing these stories where they're like, you and the character were practically one, right? Like I felt like this was written for me.
Yeah, that's sometimes less fun because, part of the fun of being an actor is transforming. But in this case, the part was so good. And the show concept was so good. And also in hour-long television, it's not a terrible thing when the part is aligned with you, because the hours are so insanely long that and you might do it for 1,000 years, that it's kind of okay when it fits like a glove.
Sure.
It makes the job a little more doable. Plus I think I had a 2-year-old when I started, and I finished the show with 3 daughters. So it was good that she fit like a glove.
That's good. And then I know too, just kind of behind the scenes, when you're shooting TV, it's a much faster pace than like a movie, where let's do multiple takes. It's like shoot it and move. We got to get to the next episode,
Definitely.
right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when movie actors come on, or or when a half-hour sitcom actor's like, oh, I'm working so hard, I'm like, quiet, be quiet. Because I was pregnant, 7 months pregnant, working 16-hour days every day, which I know that's not nothing. Like in the desert in heels.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it.
Yeah.
That's what separates the people that are passionate about the craft and versus like, you know what, I could make better money being a lawyer. Something else.
It's hard, but it's also what I love to do, so that makes it easier because it's really fun.
Absolutely. So switching gears a little bit.
Yeah.
The kids are all right. I mean, we're jumping to comedy. I mean, how do you adapt the acting style, right? When you're jumping from, the hard hitting dramas to something like comedy?
Well, I think really good comedy is born out of truth. Like, so I think if you're truthful, that's where the Venn diagram connects, and I think I loved The Kids All Right because that's also a world that I understand, like Irish Catholic, raised in the 70s. That's a particular type of mom, unsentimental, practical, but warm, but really deep down, like hard to find warm. And I loved that world. Yeah, that was really fun. Really fun.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
I would have played her forever. Yeah.
And we would have loved to see you play her forever, right? I
Yeah.
think that's the goal. But I think too, I can't imagine from your perspective. It's got to be a hard thing because I understand from the industry side that like there's a security, a safety, and like being on like a Friends, right? 10 years, and you're making
Yeah.
all this money, but also from the creative side, you want to flex it, right? You want to change characters, you want to try new things. I would imagine.
Yeah, I think like with everything in life, there's good and bad to everything in life. I mean, I think, yeah, the financial security, I guess, for some of those actors is great. But the upside of my career is that I've gotten to sort of, yes, like you said, transition and transform, and even I think there's even I mean, I know like some of the fame at that level is good, but some of the fame at that level is you're really paying a price, especially
Sure.
if you're a mother. So I think I feel very happy with where I landed. Like I get to do a bunch of different things, stage and TV and movies. I get to transform a lot, and my kids can eat with me in a restaurant and actually have a conversation. So I've been very, very lucky.
Yeah,
Very.
we and the guys, you play that game of like, oh, if only I could be rich and famous and this and that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, honestly, I'm with you. I would love to have a career where I'm passionate about what I do and I get
Yeah.
to really flex the
Yeah.
abilities while still maintaining some semblance of a normal life. Because
Yeah.
I mean, you hear these
Yeah.
stories and it's whew.
Yeah, it's hard to be hunted and all that. I mean, I don't know. I think there's always a, two sides to all of it, right?
Sure. Everything in moderation, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Let's talk a little bit about Heels because you play Willie Day. It's an incredible series. Um, I want to say such good things. I grew up a wrestling fan, so I feel like it's so good. It's so well done. I know the show was unfortunately canceled on Stars. I think you guys were better than where it was airing. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it.
It may not have been a match with the network. You know what I mean? Like
I think so.
shows have to land on the right. Anyway, we're on Netflix now, so hopefully a lot of eyes will find it and enjoy it. And who knows? Maybe Netflix will do some more seasons.
That was literally the next words out of my mouth. That Netflix picked it up, which I think is the greatest thing for it. I know Netflix is doing a big push. They just spent a bajillion dollars getting WWE rights so that they can air wrestling, which I think is going to be a great marriage because the people that watch that will then see this. And for the people that maybe haven't seen it only because like, oh, I don't have the Stars network or whatever it is, what do you want to say to them? Like, what do you want them to know about this show and why they should watch it?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, you grew up a wrestling fan. My brother grew up a wrestling fan. I didn't really know. I mean, I knew the basics, of course, because we had a fan in our house, but I wasn't, as obsessed. But the show's so good. The show's, yes, the backdrop is wrestling. And if you are a wrestling fan, I think what I've heard is we've sort of honored that truthfully, which I love. But it's also a family drama. It's a little like if I loved Friday Night Lights and I don't care about football. And I loved Friday Night Lights because I cared about the people.
Right.
So I think if you are a wrestling fan, you'll enjoy Heels. But if you're not a wrestling fan, you'll enjoy Heels. I think that's the main thing.
Beautiful, beautiful. I always liken it to like, oh, The Walking Dead. I mean, yes, it's a backdrop of zombies, but it's about the people. It's about the connections.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
And it's great. And I hope and pray. I mean, I know it, these kind of things, it's obviously out of your control and a lot of people's control, but I hope it gets a huge following. It deserves it. And hopefully Netflix sees the potential there and seizes upon it. So I'm sure you would like to return to the character. I can only assume.
Definitely. And it's a great cast. And I love the showrunner, Mike O'Malley. And I loved doing it. She's a great character. Yeah.
she is. She's a real badass. I love it.
I play a lot of badassy, grouchy women. What am I learning about me?
I guess typecasting is a real
I guess so.
It's a real thing. All right, we got a few minutes left. Is there anything maybe upcoming projects or things that you're excited about that you want to promote, that you want to talk about, and let people know?
No, I mean, I think Heels on Netflix. Definitely watch Heels on Netflix. I just shot a horror movie called Vicious, which I think I play a really creepy. Well, I shouldn't say. What I play.
Right.
Anyway, it's not out yet, so it's fun though. And yeah, that's it. Heels on Netflix. Heels on Netflix. And 25 words or less. Why not?
Oh, absolutely. Got it. It's a great show. Great show.
It's really good, yeah.
And then obviously, again, want to plug the West Wing book that you have out.
Yes.
It's a great
August
thing.
13th. Our book comes out August 13th.
August 13th. Is it solely for the West Wing fans? Or is it?
No, I think it's a book. Well, because we did a sort of book definitely about the West Wing and different, sort of, yes, it's a book for the fans, but it's also a book. We also talk about the West Wing's legacy of service, because wherever we go, most of us, first of all, that's what kept us so close, is that one of us will be doing a service project and sort of send out the bat signal and the rest of us show up. So I think it's been a little bit of the glue of our long-term friendship. But also wherever we go, people are like, oh, I'm doing this because of something I saw in the West Wing. And so we realized, like, what a lucky thing to have been part of a show that's inspired service. So yeah, it's also a book about service and how you can be involved and stay involved and how rewarding that can be.
Outstanding. In the last few minutes here, we'll do like a speed round, random questions here.
Oh God.
This is not a game show. You're not gonna fail.
I'm nervous.
What are some qualities you admire in other actors?
I think like weird reads, weird choices. Like when an actor does something that's odd but works, is still truthful. That I admire. And then I really admire good manners on set.
I love it. With obviously such a busy schedule, which we appreciate you finding time for us, how do you balance day-to-day life, right? How do you figure that balance out, working life?
It's not great. I mean, I don't do it great. Well, I lost my driver's license yesterday. I mean, I'm not killing it. I'm moving too fast and doing too much is the honest answer. But you do the best you can. That's all. And sometimes you get a solid C+.
Hey, C's get degrees, right?
Yeah.
What keeps you inspired or motivated, in both your personal and professional life?
Well, in my professional life, I feel like I love what I do. So I'm inspired and motivated because I don't know what else I would do. And I enjoy storytelling. Like, I feel like one of the luckiest people alive to get to do it. And if they pay me, I think, well, that's great. So that's easy. And then in my personal life, love for the people I love. Yeah. I mean, I'm blessed with 3 daughters and a husband whom I adore, and it doesn't get better than that. So I'm lucky. One of the lucky ones.
It's beautiful. Is there any fun fact about you that maybe not many people know about? Something, you can share?
Well, I can speak fluent gibberish. At a guy, spit a geek, little geek, that it gets pretty good, to the geek, for the gas, to again, to go, at a gun, kid again, at a gun, to the girst, again, mitigate. That I speak fluent gibberish, and I have enormous hands. Like, it makes no sense. Like, pianists and basketball players look at my hands and they're like, please tell me you play basketball or the piano.
Wow. Okay.
It makes no sense. I know.
I feel like we're getting to know you so well. A couple more here. Looking back on your career so far, because we know there's a lot more to go, is there any piece of advice that you wish you had received earlier in your career?
Oh, that's a good one. You know what? I think this was pretty early in my career though, but still a piece of advice Stanley Tucci gave me once. I was doing a scene and in the scene, I was being sort of sexually assaulted, and the actor who was sexually assaulting me was sort of like inappropriate and, or just pushing it. And I was crying in my trailer, and he came in and he was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you crying? And I said, I was trying to like play ball, but it's really upsetting, and I was trying to be good. I was trying to have good work ethic. And, I was raised like that to know how lucky I am and to count my blessings and just get on with it. But he was like, hey, if you're speaking up about something that makes you do your job better, it's not bad manners. It's good manners. Like, you need to do your job. And if you're speaking up about your trailer size, if you're speaking up about what's for lunch, then then you're being sort of annoying, and that's bad manners. But if you're speaking up about the work, that's good. And so uh it helped me understand like appropriate boundaries with work stuff. It was, I mean, I still learn it all the time and I struggle with it, but it was helpful. And coming from him, it was very helpful.
I think that's great work advice. I also think that's just great life advice in general.
Totally. Yeah,
you know,
totally. It's like,
stand
it's
up when you're not
okay.
comfortable.
Yeah. And it's okay to speak up if it's about what you're doing. If it's about nonsense, then yeah, check yourself.
Check your privilege. I love it. Let's see, two more here. How do you hope that your work impacts the industry and audiences that view it?
Oh golly, I don't know. I mean, I don't do anything that important, but the Memorial Day concert's the most important thing I get to do. So I feel very lucky to do that. But otherwise, I just hope I am truthful, on screen. That's my job, is to be truthful, is to let people forget they're watching something fake, right? Is to let people go somewhere with a story, and hopefully the story changes them in some way, either makes them laugh and gives them relief, or makes them pick up the phone and call someone they love, or, the way art should. So if I get to be part of that and I'm truthful doing it, then the spell has worked, it's more likely to
Awesome.
work and for people.
Oh, that's so good. It's like you know all the answers. Like you know all the right answers. Finally, what message would you like to share with your fans, people that may have followed your career, supported your career? This is your opportunity to talk directly to them. What do you say to your fans?
I would just say thank you. Sometimes people thank you so much because I get to do this. Like the little girl in New Jersey who was seeing a Broadway play and assumed that was like a job that was a realistic option is very grateful. I'm so thankful. And when people ever come up to me and say, like, could I get a picture? I'm so sorry to bother you. I'm always thinking and say, it's no bother. I'm grateful. Listen, the minute people stop is the minute I'm not hired. So I'm very, very lucky and very, very grateful to anyone who's willing to watch me.
Outstanding. I'm sure they're all very appreciative. Is social media? I know some people do it, some people don't. Is there a specific place you want to point to, or where should people follow you?
I'm on Instagram at Mary C. McCormack, and I think that's the main one. And I'm pretty bad at it. Like I will post 3 times in a day and then not post for 6 months. And the 3 posts in that day, like one is backwards, one's upside down, one's zoomed in too tight. Like you're going to see, I get it all wrong. There's typos all over the place. It's not great,
Well,
but I do my best.
It's authentically you, right?
It's a solid C+.
That's what we're going to call this interview.
Mary McCormack story, yeah.
the autobiography, right? Solid C+.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Okay, I think with that, we've hit all the major things. I definitely would love to sit down with you another time and really.
Back. I'd love to.
This has been incredible. Thank you so much for your time, ladies and gentlemen. The incredible Mary McCormack. Make sure you go watch Heels. Make sure you buy the book.
Yeah.
Follow her. Poke her on Instagram so she knows to post more pictures and things.
Please do. That'd be great.
Awesome, guys. All right, we're going to toss to a quick break and be back with more show right after this. Mary, I'll give you the last word here. Say goodnight to the audience. Let them know.
Well, good night, and watch the National Memorial Day show on Sunday, May 26th, 8 to 9 Eastern Time, live on PBS.
Perfect.
Woo-hoo!
Perfect. All right, guys, we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody, we're back. Let's go ahead and bring back our guy who's busy stuffing his face. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mad Mike. Just beat the buzzer. Just beat Just barely beat the buzzer. Awesome, man. That was the absolutely phenomenal, lovely, amazing, great Mary McCormack. Just I enjoyed every second I got to talk with her. She was truly great to speak with. Really, really feel like connects with the message of what the Memorial Day concert's all about. And just really, oh man, just really enjoyed my conversation. Somebody put in the comments, who was it? I'm gonna find it, but I think it was Scott who was like, oh God, where was it? Oh, CQ's over here trying to invite her over to the Friday night game night. It was like, yeah, that's not a bad idea. I was like, if anyways, it got me to thinking. I'm like, well, she's a producer on 25 Words or Less. I wonder if she could pull some strings. I mean, possibly, maybe get CQ. I mean, I already did Family Feud, right? I mean, maybe get 25 Words or Less in there, you know?
Family Feud's not a real game show. Get the fuck out of here.
What about 25 Words or Less? You ever watched it? It's a fun game.
Never heard of it.
It's a fun game. You should look it up.
It's a dick. Everything's a dick.
Sounds like Scott is on fire tonight. Sounds like she said we can accost her in basically in different words. Yeah. Yeah. She said, come out and, if you see her in public, come right up to her. That's what she said. You can accost her. I gave the green light weeks ago, and yet no one's ended up in the news yet. So I don't know. It's a miracle. It's an absolutely miracle. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be wrapping it up. Another episode of Pop Culture Warrior. Anything, you've been gone a while, Mike. Before we wrap up the show, is there anything you wanted to cover? Anything that you saw that, caught your eye that you didn't get to chat about yet? TV, movies, comics, toys.
What did I see?
Ladies and gentlemen, the amazing
I
Mad
talked
Mike,
about it.
co-host of Pop Culture Warrior.
Oh, you know what I saw earlier? Am I supposed to keep up on these things? No, I'm just supposed to shove here and rip on them. What is it called? Hellblade? Have you seen this? I think I texted you that earlier.
Hellblade 2's out. Yep.
It came out on. I was gonna buy it. It looked good, and it's on.
It's on Game Pass, I thought.
Game Pass free.
Yeah.
I downloaded that bad boy.
Yeah.
Looks pretty cool. Pretty brutal.
Okay.
I didn't play the first one, so.
All right, man. Look at Mad Mike. Actually, remember he knows an Xbox.
Right.
You remember
got
how
one of
to,
them
you remember
guys?
the buttons and how to move the things around?
No.
You got that?
I know how to find programs.
What else? We as a unit, we submitted our package for New York Comic Con. Very excited about. Hopefully, because we beat the deadline. So realistically, you can apply for press credentials all the way up to October. But if you wanted to get the early approvals, you had to get it in May, whatever it was, 20th, yesterday. And then you'll find out before June 9th, I think they do the early round. So we wanted to do that so that way we can have time to make sure we got our schedules in line. Some people got to fly, get hotels and all that. So this is the big one, man. I'm doing all 4 days. I'm doing panels. I'm doing giveaways. I'm doing interviews.
Dudes in the bathroom.
I'm doing dudes in the bathroom. Only if they're Patreon members, though.
There you go. Patreon Plus.
Patreon Plus, baby.
Hey, yearly.
Only for tier 3s, man. Only for tier 3s. But yeah, so it's I'm excited if we can get me there, you there. Nemo will be joining us. King will be joining us. It's gonna be a good time. I think
Yeah. You got my rider, right? I sent you my rider.
yes, I
Just
did.
make sure you get all
I
that shit.
I don't know that many black men. I'm sorry. I'll have to put a casting call together.
I don't care how it's done as long as it's done.
It gets done. I don't think they have white M&Ms. I can't get you. I don't know how to get a bowl full of white M&Ms.
It's 4th of July, red, white, and blue ones.
That's
You
right.
better buy a shit ton.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, so we're looking forward to that. Last year, we really kind of dipped our toe in the kind of having press credentials at New York Comic Con, and whoa, what an experience! Lot learned. We'll do this year a lot better. There's after parties, there's activations around the city. So not even just at New York Comic Con, because then you get invited to the different activations that are happening in different places, the after parties, all that stuff. It was a bit of shock. It was a bit of a shock. I'll be honest. Last year was my first time having press credentials there, and I need the full team. I need the full team there now this year, so we can really run it to ground and have a really good time and shoot some really good content. So very excited for that, which ties into, as I've said before, if you are watching this, if you can hear the sound of my voice and you want to go to a convention that's near you, whatever your local Comic-Con is, send me the details. Reach out to me, send me the details. I will get you free passes, and you will be my eyes in the sky. You will be my infield reporter, correspondent for Pop Culture Warrior. Take some pictures, go out there. We'll post it on the page, and have yourself some fun. So I'm happy to do that for you guys. And we've had a few people, 3 or 4 people have already taken up the opportunity. So again, this is an open invitation all year long. If you want to go see a convention, let me be your guide. Let me get you in the door. Okay. Right, Mike. What's near you? You've got like
You got
MegaCon.
MegaCon.
Isn't there another one?
Yeah, there's another one down south. It's not as good. They do 90s Con here. They're doing that cruise out of Tampa too.
Yeah, they do a couple different cruises out of there because they do those.
Yeah, the Jay and
Comic-Con
Silent Bob
cruise, the
does
Jay
one
Silent
too.
Bob, the Impractical Jokers one. Like, there's a bunch
There's
of
like
really.
a wrestling one.
There's a really cool.
What's his name? That short comedian, Brad Williams.
Brad Williams, yes.
He did a
Yeah.
cruise out of some
Yes.
wrestler was hosting.
Yeah, it was Chris Jericho was doing that one. There's also there's a really cool like retro gaming one, which was really cool. I was watching some videos on, and like all the different floors have like different games, and like there's one room will be all board games, and one room will be all card games, and one will be arcade, and there's like Smash Brother tournaments and Magic the Gathering tournaments. It's like really, I was like, man, that's like that seems like that'd be a cool vibe. You know what I mean? To just go, and then also to be on a cruise and on vacation. But
it's like the only cruise that like doesn't go to a port, or if they do, like nobody gets off.
Nobody
exactly. Oh, we don't want to go in the sun. Ew.
Yeah. all the windows are covered. Yeah. This is the only cruise you can go on, and there's no one in the pool.
We need more nacho cheese Doritos and Mountain Dew. Like, we've got 10 years worth. Like, yeah, we ran out.
Not enough. Not enough. Oh man, nobody's in the pool. You're like, what the hell's going on? All right. Other than that, I feel like I'm forgetting something, and it's driving me nuts. We're still doing our Friday night tabletop exercise, FTX, which I thought was a great name. I think it was Scott that came up with that one. That was a great name. Friday night tabletop exercise, FTX. We're still doing those every other week. Last week we did Marvel Zombies, which was a lot of fun. We got some cool stuff coming down the road for that. We're little by little, we're building that up to something that I think is going to be really cool to watch. I even am cutting out some clips. I think next week I'll put out some daily clips of like the highlights of the game. So that was fun. We got to get you down here, Mike, for one of the Friday nights, man. Got to come down.
Yeah.
And other than that,
I'd have to kick my own ass.
Oh,
Did you watch that Ted Nugent on what's
mhm,
his name
the
show
smoke pit.
last week? What
Yeah.
a fucking weird guy that guy is.
Elaborate.
Radar too. He's a little weird, but
Elaborate.
let's talk about Ted Nugent. It's just strange. Like I've seen a few interviews with him, and every time I'm like, man, this guy like he's just rocking out in his own little world. Like he's so
Yeah.
fucking random, and
He's
to
wait,
be like, I don't know. I can't ever see myself that happy where I just like,
like
music just marches to his own drum, you know?
yeah. I envy it. I envy it, you know, to have the amount of success he's had while still like he says like no booze, no drugs, like just straight living.
And it's like you're fucking high all the time still. I
Yeah,
don't
you
get
know,
it.
he's like I'm high on Jesus, guns, and freedom. He's
I
like,
don't
okay,
know.
like,
He
all right,
might
man.
be, seems like he might live near a meth factory. I don't know.
There's got to be some power lines somewhere.
Yeah.
So, is this a power plant somewhere nearby? It's just,
Very interesting dude, though. I
Yeah.
feel like he makes up his own words, too.
all right. Added to the list of people not coming on the show. Ted Nugent, everybody. That's a good one.
He will come on. He won't remember anything.
Okay. Well, shit. The only other thing if you remember correctly, we did a huge giveaway back in January where we gave away a Avengers movie poster signed by Robert Downey Jr. Now,
Huge. It's huge. A
Huge.
huge.
I had posted it. We did the live giveaway. We chose a winner. Now, that person never reached out to me. And it's someone I know in crossing. I mean, it's not like we hang out all the time or anything, but we cross paths once in a while. And I could have reached out and said, "Hey, man, you know, you won the thing." But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sit on it. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna pick my moment. And he actually came to the game night for the first time last Friday. And so at the end of the game night, for anybody that didn't see the end of it, I was able to surprise him by going, "Hey, man, I have something for you. I've been holding it for a while." And I was able to present it to him in person, which was really cool. So I'm going to clip that moment and probably post it to the page later. But it was just a really nice moment. I don't mind sending out stuff like to winners and stuff, but it's just a different vibe to hand somebody something, and especially something that meaningful. Was a really
And when
cool
you
moment.
save like $100,
Yeah.
I don't know how much. Shit's expensive now.
Shipping stuff is expensive, and this was already framed. So
Yeah.
like it'd be different if I pulled it apart, rolled it up, and
Rolled it, threw it in a tube.
You know, I'm gonna fold it until it put it in an envelope. Here's your movie poster.
Yeah.
This big.
But you got a Ryan Reynolds one like that.
Yeah, well, fuck you.
I think he wiped his ass with it.
You gotta iron the poster.
Yeah.
Smooth.
We got a steamer.
But anyway, all right, let's take a look, folks. You know the drill. Let's take a look around the screen here of all the
WTF
shows.
Nation.
The WTF Nations is Sunday nights. You got the Sports Bar with King and Coach telling you all the sportsing stuff, all that great sportsing stuff. There's sports, right? Sports exist. That's a thing. People do sports. Is that still a thing? I don't know.
Mainly just basketball and football.
I know football, man. Preseason or not preseason, but like the OTAs. OTAs have started. How you feeling about them Dolphins this year?
They do the same thing every year. It's like just enough to keep you frustrated and not do anything spectacular, just so you tune in the next season. It's like middle of the road.
It's like the super hot chick who's like super into celibacy, right? Waiting for marriage. Like
Yeah.
you're just trying to get some, and it's just
It's
not
like,
happening.
we're winning, but we're not gonna win anything important. And then they got another wide receiver. Like, what the fuck? We have like 35 wide receivers. Like, you know, mediocre defense, you know, a lot of gaps to fill, but we're like, you know what we need? We got like 2 of the best receivers in the game. Let's pick up a bunch more that we're never gonna fucking use.
Yeah. At least you have a quarterback who knows how to play football. I mean, that's
Well, when he's not fucking retarded.
he's not concussed.
He's going into the fucking, what's that show? The Stranger Things world? When he's not fucking going into the Never realm or wherever the fuck it is.
The Upside Down. Yeah.
The Upside Down.
Oh God. Yeah, Scott says, hey man, we're in the NHL playoffs right now. Give it some credit.
Fuck yeah, man. Fucking Panthers are winning it all. Fuck you, New York Rangers.
We will discuss this off air.
Nobody talks hockey. I don't even mention it. But like,
how's your girls'
fantastic sport.
not little league, but like soccer thing? What do they call them? Soccer league? Soccer?
Yeah, it's called soccer. It's fucking soccer.
Is it a league?
Youth soccer.
Yeah,
it's a league.
Oh, their youth soccer thing going there.
That's good. Kids didn't listen to me, so we got 3rd place. It's like my lowest place season of the ever, like 10 years. So it's kind of disappointing. But
you were I wanted to sponsor the uniforms, man. I wanna put my logo on them uniforms.
In the back.
Let's go.
I switched to a different league, and they didn't ask for sponsors, but I could look into it.
I want that pop culture warrior on them little kids. I want my logo on them kids. I'll run that shit.
To wait till I get a winning team.
Again. All right. Anyway, Monday edition. News, commentary, and discussion. All the things that's happening around the world. That's Ice and Massey bringing you all those fun stories from around the world. And then Tuesday nights right here with me and Mad Mike when he decides to not be off gallivanting around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesdays, it's the Smoke Pit with Radar and TZ. You get wonderful guests like the aforementioned Ted Nugent. Like, is it Nugent? Is he like a Nugent center? Ted Nugent?
Filling in Snickers. Did he come up with it first, or did Snickers?
Ted Nugent. Thursdays is
definitely not coming back. Hey, we might get shot by an arrow.
Jesus will strike us down.
Jesus Christ.
It's Sergeant's time. Thursdays with Ice and Spanky, and then Friday night freedom with Kaz and Guess whenever he feels like it, because this is Kaz Worlds and we're all just living in it. And of course, you've unlocked the Saturday show, which is invisible at the moment. Weekend co-ops with Nemo, where he plays co-op games, and we get to watch and make fun of him because he sucks. That's awesome.
This game's terrible.
You suck. I was just trolling him in the chats. You suck.
Look at get all this pressure.
Anyway, that's gonna do it for us. This wonderful edition of Pop Culture Warrior. Tune in next week. You know what? Let's just do a giveaway next week. I just feel like doing a giveaway. What do you think? Like, giveaway?
I don't care what you give away. Give away shit.
Yeah.
Give it all away.
Give it all. Give it away. Give it away. Give it away now. Give it away.
Same 5 people win everything anyway.
Well, that's the blessings of being a Patreon subscriber. You have more chances to win stuff. But yeah, no, my giveaway pile is looking rather aggressive. So I need to knock that thing down a peg. So yeah, we'll be doing some giveaways. But yeah, alrighty. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of another amazing edition. King Smith says, I'll win.
Yeah, you fucking will.
Scott says, next week, grand prize is CQ's house. Oh, fuck no. That's not happening. But I do, man.
I do have a Funko of my house. Totally sign it.
Oh, God.
And,
all right.
I got the Jason Alexander bobblehead that doubles as me as
Mike
well.
has one funny of the day. Everybody give a round of applause for Mad Mike. Mad Mike, everybody. He got his one funny of the day. That actually made
They're
me
not
laugh.
used to seeing funny things on this show. I haven't been on in a while.
God bless. God bless. Alrighty. Well, this has been fun. This has been real. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next time. Mad Mike, sign us off, man. Say something to the people and take us out.
All right. Go to bed. Don't do dumb shit. And yeah, that's it. See you next week.
Worst. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Whoa, shots. That's better.
Doc! Oh, no! We're too late! We missed it! Oh, jeez, this is heavy. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Doc, I got a time machine. I'm just gonna punch in the coordinates. Pop Culture Warrior, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on WTF Nation Radio. Now crank this bad boy up to 88 miles per hour.
Let's see it.